Well, my name is Mike Way, and I play the enigmatic Oshou in this series. Kind of a guy that I'm still, as the series goes on, I find out more about him as Scott, the director, reveals him to me. It's a lot of fun.
And you've been playing that basically
since the beginning, yes. I'm that guy all the way through, so far, until they find a real actor. Originally from Wisconsin. Before I moved to North Carolina, I spent about 20 years in broadcasting in Washington, D.C. And I worked here in the late 60s in television doing news. And then I got a real job and was in radio for a long time. I've done voice work for many, many years. You do radio long enough, you discover, in the morning you say, well, good morning, the time is, the temperature is, you're about to hear, you just heard, and now the news, with some shtick in between. So I thought to myself I could do more than that, so I started sending some tapes around to agencies and started doing voice work and character voices and commercials and that type of thing. I did my first cartoon type thing about 20 years ago for one of the major toy companies who were doing comic books of the children's classics with voice tapes going along. So I started that, doing voice work on tape, actually. I'm a great, as you can tell by looking at me, I'm a great off-camera guy. So I've been doing this for a long time, mimicking people all my life. So now they cast me as an old guy all the time. I don't know why, but I enjoy it. I only do about 40 different old guys, depending on how old you want me to be, So I came here on purpose. I loved it when I worked here in the late 60s. And actually I was doing radio on weekends in Washington about 12 years ago and doing a lot of studio voice work, and I had a little place in West Virginia, and I was commuting back and forth. I had a house in the hills and a place in Washington that I stayed in while I was doing work. And one day I was on the Beltway in D.C. and I was sucking fumes, and I said, God didn't mean for people to suck fumes all their lives. And all my kids were grown, and I was single, my wife had died. So I just said, to heck with it, and I just quit everything and came down here. And I've never regretted it. Now I'm retired, such as it is, and enjoy it. It's great. I live on the beach. My job is to see if the sun comes up in the east every morning. And so far it hasn't let me down. I was a speech and dramatic arts major in college at the University of Missouri, but it was years before I went into it. Actually, I just fell into the radio thing. When you start accumulating kids early on in life like I did, and a bride, just haven't got time to pursue that. Some guys can do that. I wasn't that facile. Well, I had made friends with one of the guys who was doing the AnimEigo stuff when they first started doing it, Randy Drew, and I had been doing some voice work in his studio. So I got a holler to do old guy stuff, and I've been doing old guy stuff ever since. It's several years now. I may have done a couple incidental voices where I didn't have to be an old guy, but mostly this character is all I've done in this, and I'm watching him develop, and it's kind of fun. His little chibi and his little cat, it is his love and his nemesis. Yeah, I can see his frustration. He wants to be. There's something strange about this guy. Obviously, he spent a lot of time in the police department. Now he wants to be an ascetic, and he's a temple guy, a monk, but he just can't quite let it go, can he? He's got to mess with the rookies, and he's got to hang out with these kids all the time. So here's a guy who's kind of like me, who'd like to be a holy man, but he's not quite there yet.
So you can relate to him.
Oh yeah, I can see the deal. It's just like broadcasting, and I just can't quite get out of it. Yes, he's one of the few characters whose voice is very much like mine, because I'm not quite as old in my voice as my body is. Mm-hmm. So I can be. He's younger than I am, too, as far as I can see. He's in much better shape than I am, that's for sure. But yeah, I can relate to this guy. I like him. I have a cat that pretty much runs the house.
They usually do.
Hasn't broken any fine china like Chibi has, but or walked on my freshly polished little red car, since I don't have one of those. But yeah, I can see this guy, and he, like me, he loves young people. I don't hang around with people my age if I can avoid it, because all they talk about is their latest bodily function, you know. What I like about it is that he's developing a little more as we go along. Now we're right, I guess, in the middle of the series as we're doing this, so there's more to be found out about this guy. Scott tells me that we're going to do a little bit of background of his life in one of the series, so I'm going to find out more about him as we go along. So, and that's the fun part of it. I'm going to find out more about my character, and hopefully I'll be able to develop him a little better. But with a director like Scott, it's easy. It's fun, and it's fun. Sometimes it goes so fast that you get lost. What's fun about this thing is not so much seeing as watching these kids, and Scott's a stickler for this, and it's the incidentals, a scream. And of course, Scott, the director, being a musician, for instance, sometimes I get a chance to scream, and we have to go back and redo it again. He can remember the pitch of my scream and give me the pitch. You started here, you know. And it's a lot of these things, like attention. You'll see that these kids. I like the incidental things, like and Scott will say, "Could you? That wasn't quite enough." You know? Oh, that's better. You know, it's attention to detail like that. I think what's in all these things, particularly the kids, where they do they ad-lib stuff that's not there, and it's not particularly anything that you would notice. And that's what's beautiful. You don't notice it. It's so natural. I remember doing a scene in another series with Scott where this old guy that I'm playing is walking a long distance. And Scott said, "What's wrong with that?" I said, "He's not breathing." So we put in, like us old guys would do. You know, we just don't walk down the street, we huff and puff. So it's stuff like that, and the kids have picked up on this, that although it doesn't show in the cartoon, they know what's happening, and they put it in there, and that's what's good about these kids. They're learning to develop the full character, not just what's on the script. Oh, Pam is a doll, and Scott, you know, for a guy, he's okay too. But I just like their attitudes. Their whole approach to this thing is fun, professionalism, and do it till you got it right. I've seen Scott with his back so stiff from, I don't know how he does it. He's patient as Job. With one line, he'll do one line over and over till it is just perfect. And that's what I think makes the whole series work, because it's done with precision. Oh yeah, Oshou fans, God love you. Keep those cards and letters coming in. Get me more parts in more of the series. Have them redraw the whole thing. For those of you who are You're Under Arrest fans, may they come fast and furious and more and never end.